Okay, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. It is so good to see you all. Welcome on in. Zaft, congratulations on first. Memphis, you got it, my good friend. There we have it. Good to see you, Cubus, Captain Anosa, Incredibro. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Oh, man, I don't know why it's still displaying those. It shouldn't have those being displayed. I don't know. I gotta work through it. I gotta figure out why it is displaying every command instead of just like the enabled ones. We'll figure that out. Well, maybe yeah, anyways, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out offline. It is so great to see you all. Welcome in. Blades, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate you. Mothman, I found something today. Something that I thought has just completely been lost. But I found 2 hats that have been missing for like 6 months. I don't know if they went on a journey to another land where they saved an entire people from an overwhelming evil while learning a little bit about themselves on the way. I don't know what happened. But we'll kick this hat tower off with some of the newly discovered hats that we have had all along, but had completely disappeared for some reason. So there's one hat, we got our top hat, and then we've got this guy right there. 1, 2. Prodigal Son, good to see you. Welcome in. They were properly below the table. Okay. And then we have 3, 4, 5. Whoop, right on top. Okay. There we go. Developer of Void Night Games. Just saw you start streaming. Awesome, Nick. Thank you so much for following. I'm pleased to have you here. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow as well. Ooh. Yeah. Goodness. Let's go ahead and maybe move down here. So, Nick10161, fine individual, reached out to me to say, hey, would you be interested in checking this out? And I very much am, because from my understanding, Nick, this is a solo dev adventure, right? It started off as kind of a side project, and you have transformed into being a full experience, right? So that's very helpful for us here. foxhollowgames is an organization that helps people to enter the game industry. And one of the best ways to get into the game industry is to make your own game. And so we love playing games from solo developers to help us to kind of contextualize what is the experience that we should be trying to build, right? So I'm really excited about this. Thank you so much for sending the key my way. We're going to be doing a full breakdown and analysis of this. I am a product designer of 10 years experience, and my son is 6 months old and has about 3 months of smiling experience. So he may be chiming in every now and again. Prodigal with 5 gift subs. My goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Prodigal. Your birthday, congrats. And is that team move happening in time for your birthday? Because it's finalized, right? They decided on that? September 12th. But you and I might not be there on time. Very cool. Very cool. Well, happy birthday, Prodigal. Started working on this as a side project in college that I worked on and off of for a while. I'm a solo dev, though. I have lots of help from commissioning art, music, etc. Okay, very cool. That's awesome. 2 more interviews. Oh, so it's not finalized. Okay, well, we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you. Hoping that is a good birthday present for you soon. So, RNG gods are not in my favor. Oh, shoot. Yeah, Prodigal, thank you so much for that support. Deeply, deeply appreciate that. That is exactly the type of support that we need in order to try and continue supporting people on their journeys. So thank you. Notice that the main menu UI is very smushed. What are the resolution settings on? So it's on windowed because I am on an ultra-wide monitor. So I just have it set to windowed, and I'm trying to get it to the point where it looks captured well on OBS. Oh, we can change the... Oh, lovely. 1920 by 1080. That's what we're looking for. Great. Thank you for calling that out. I didn't see that before. Okay. Fantastic. Yes, I have an ultra-wide monitor. So if it is full screen for me, you're going to see black bars on the top and bottom third of the screen. Yeah. Early birthday in case Fox is not on September 12th and or I cannot join because I have to demo on my own birthday. Lame. Oh, bummer. Don't have ultra-wide, so it's a blind spot for it. You know what? Very few games actually accommodate for this. So it's something I would have ever thought of as well until I experienced it. As is often the case with, you know, trying to forecast how different experiences in life are going to deal with what you produce, which is why getting out into the world and observing people and putting your game in front of people, as diverse a set of people as you possibly can, is so important for good design. I have ultra-wide. Yours is more like super-duper ultra-wide. Yes, it is the Samsung Odyssey, like G9, I think it is, where it's just like this ridiculous thing. Jack, great to see you. Okay, and then Jack, after we get to Star Night, after Star Night, we'll jump into your game, Jack. Just offering a windowed mode is safer and makes streamers happier anyway. Yes, windowed mode, super big deal. So, as we always do, we're going to start off. What was the hype train about? Because it's about you, Prodigal. You gifted 5 gift subs, so that got us up to a hype train of 50%. If we get to 100%, we move up to the next hype train level, and everyone who has participated in the hype train gets like a special emote that they get to earn. And that continues all the way up to level 100. So, complete level 2 with a combined contribution of 4 tier 1 subs or 1,800 bits. That's what we have left to get to level 3. If people would like that, it definitely helps the channel out tremendously. What happens if we get to 100? I think it just ends. And they're like, don't tempt, I just got paid stocks. Stocks ain't money, man. You're not liquidating those things yet. While you're subbed. Okay. 225 bytes breaking the system, Memphis. So, Star Night, Order of the Vortex. As we always do, going to start with a breakdown of the title screen. This is our first entry point of people coming into our game. Therefore, it is tremendously important. Newell with 5 community gift subs. Thank you. Thank you so much for finalizing out that level 2 hype train. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. So, I like the layers of stars here. It's very cool. Thor who? Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Choo. Absolutely. Thank you for everything that all of you do, from just being here to submitting your projects for critique and to be discussed and analyzed, to supporting me in my endeavors and teaching me coding and helping each other. It is absolutely amazing seeing what you all do. Thank you. Really looking forward to this, as feedback is invaluable as a solo dev. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to stop trying to be distracted. We're going to actually dive in. So I like the movement here. We always talk about ways to incorporate movement into this first screen, right? And the stars are doing a good job. We could amp this up, right? We could amp this up with like some nebulas in the background, bring a little bit of color into the experience, because I don't think the game is 2-bit. Let me explain to my wife why I spent this money instead of buying food. Shoot. Oh, man. Appreciate you, prodigal son. Hope you're doing well. Hope the wife is well and the kids are all doing great. The logo is fine. It's a little uninspired. It's a typographic logo. It could use some graphical embellishments here, getting like a graphic designer and a branding designer in to maybe bring in some assets from the game into the logo. We've had like one great example I like to think about with that is the project that Zaft made with his team. That had a really, really good logo that was very simple. Yeah, Zorbit. It was. Let me go back to here. This one. If we go Chrome. Here we go. So this guy, this logo. It's a very simple logo, but it's just using a lot of elements from the game. So you didn't even have to like create special artwork for it. It was just pre-existing stuff they organized together to make something interesting. And then I kind of followed suit on that when I did Nano. And, you know, that's nothing incredibly special, but it's just a little bit of something to indicate a little bit more effort. Thank you, Zaf. Thank you for throwing that link in there. Yeah. So we could get more in terms of the logo here. That looks cool. Yeah, absolutely. Got myself a new smartwatch with it too. Nice. I have my own spend as you want money. That's a great call. That is a good, by the way, for those of you who are in relationships or entering into relationships, build your own discretionary funds with each other so that you can spend that on whatever you want. That is the biggest budget hack. Budget out your money and then give yourself I get to do whatever I want with this money fund. How much for 2 viewers? Thank you, Blades. Appreciate that. Okay. So, that's all that. The menu here, we've got kind of a bit of a different layout than we're used to seeing. So we have the logo in the upper right, and then we have a full height menu here. So something we talk about a lot in terms of architectural design is is chunking these buttons together into relevant sections. So if we grab a screenshot of this real quick and take this into Figma, you jump into the right page here. We'll zoom in this random space. So we've got Star Knight, Order of the Vortex. We kind of block this out a bit. Throw in our button. We're going to make it the same color with the same color stroke. Looks like that's, what, about there? And then play. And we're going to make this all caps. We're just going to play around with some different Prodigal Son with 5 more gift subs. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Happy birthday. You're absolutely fantastic. Let's just go with a basic kind of monospaced font as a rough approximation of this. Sure, we'll do this. And then should we go down Lime Blossom with the raid. Hello, welcome in, Lime Blossom. We are checking out Star Knight Order of the Vortex, which is, from my understanding, a roguelike shmup. And we're doing some kind of UI analysis of this main menu screen. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of this real quick. How is your project going? How's your dungeon crawler moving? 14 viewers here, 15 gift subs, 0 for Memphis. Danomide, welcome in, good to see you. My whole screen is raining subs. Oh, Prodigal, you're absolutely amazing. Feel generous today, but just this once. You're always generous in hats, Prodigal. Always look good with hats, or always generous with hats. Did that first year of marriage. This is the do whatever you want as long as it's legal money. Yeah, for real. It seems that Twitch doesn't prioritize people actively watching. It is a little bit strange. Yeah. Okay. So, and then also, let me try and match our size here, because we're going to play around with this a little bit. Oh, and this is start. Okay. All right, that's a rough equivalent, so we'll bring that up. And then we can bring this down. We'll call it settings. That's my son, by the way. We're going to bring this down. This is going to be credits. We're going to bring this down and make it roadmap. Bring this down and call it codex. And then bring this down and call it quit. Okay. So we're going to drag this over the top so we can't see those old buttons. So chunking. Chunking is a very powerful visual design principle, right? You can't shout out. So it's dumb. Lime. You have to do the / shout out command. I thought you were doing Bracky's Jam too. I was planning on doing Bracky's, but then, you know, I've had this huge backlog of analysis work I need to get to, and then I also just really have to do a portfolio project. So I'm bowing out of Bracky's, unfortunately. Karzas, good to see you. Welcome in. That's all I can give, and I need to do work. We got to level 4. You're absolutely incredible. Thank you, Prodigal. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Working on more tactics for Bracky's Jam. Very cool. That's awesome. I can't wait to see what you produce. I'm very excited. For those of you who are unaware or don't remember, Lime Blossom made the really neat little puzzle game Chill Seekers, which we played on the stream, the Penguins tactical puzzle game. It was great. It was a really good experience. I'm really excited to see what they produced. So, chunking. absolutely super important principle. I'm just going to group these things together so they're a little bit easier to move around. There we go. Grab these. We're going to space these out. So when everything is equally spaced from each other, everything feels like it's related. But that's not necessarily what these are. Like, we have very definite categories of things, right? So we have quit, which is its own category. 1 second. All right, there we go. Let's swap hats. Incredibro, you got it. We're gonna take this, swap out, and bring this in. Okay. Oh, and add a special hat. Great. Mice, do you want mushroom or pretty fairy hat? You get to decide. One or the other. Okay. Add a hat. Are we out of hats? Wow. So quit is its own thing. Codex is going to be closer to playing because it's going to like directly relate to the gameplay, right? Settings is also related to playing, but it's kind of a side thing. And then credits and roadmap are kind of their own section. They're these sort of meta things to the player experience. So you can make these 3 different groups and have this be a little bit more legible right out of the gate. Karazes, you got it. Add a hat. Oh, here we go. Shroom. All right. So even with just some chunking, not changing anything else, this starts to become quite a bit more legible. I would also argue credits and roadmap could be swapped in position because roadmap is going to be more actively important to the player, right? They're going to care more about the roadmap than they will about the credits. It's the sad fact of the reality. Nonetheless, we put the value to the player up top. And then if we give them enough value, they may care about the credits. Someone's just trying to cheap out. It's a lot of hats. You know it, Quantic. And I found 2 old hats that have been missing for months. So I'm really excited about that. Definitely would not have thought of that myself. Super useful in usage. Yeah, there you go. So we've got these different categories. In fact, you may even want to like bring this slightly down here. So we have, let's say, breaking it up into spacing of 8. Say that it is 80 pixels away, and then this can be 160 pixels away. And now we have a more clear hierarchical organization. You can also make it so that they're kind of equidistant. So we could do 80 and then 80. You know, this is where you start getting into more stylistic preferences. There we have 80. We can see a lot more. Now, people have been bringing up the color contrast. That's 100% right. So I'm going to take all this, copy it, delete all the stuff that we just built. So this is where we started. This is where we went next. And then we're going to make a new version. Thank you so much for that hype train. Level 5 hype train. You guys are all... you're all fantastic. Guys, gals, intergalactic space slugs, thank you. It was a fun one to play. Can't wait to see your analysis. Yeah, me too. I've been really excited about this one for a while. It smashes up 2 genres that I'm really curious about. Just like I like him more than I like watching Rocket League stream. Thank you, Blaze. I know that's a big deal for you. Thank you. Definitely could use some juice in the UX department. Sure, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take all these, and we can make these the same color as this, right? All of a sudden, tremendously more legible. If we zoom out, and this is also a good litmus test, see how far away you can get before your design stops becoming legible, right? Now we have this pretty visible from pretty far away. Now, we have some slight problems here. We have a spacing here. I'm gonna make this like some pink color. And then we have another spacing down to here, right? So that's a problem that we should probably address. There are a couple of ways we can go about that. If we wanted to maintain the same layout, we could drag this up so it is in line, and you want to kind of look for opportunities to create shapes, invisible shapes with the borders of your creation. Now, the thing is, that is now very high up. That's kind of an awkward space to reach. You kind of want stuff, your main happy path, you want that centralized in the screen, more or less, which is why I like it being a little bit further down. So, let's explore another variation. Let's actually put it down here. And then we'll delete this. I'm going to drag this to the side. I'm going to grab that title, and then we're going to mask it out. I'm going to bring it, put it, oops, right here. So now it is going to be in line. What am I doing? Here we go. In line with the button. We want that just to line up nice and tidy, so we get, once again, that little shape being created. Now, this is still feeling a little funky, right? It's feeling very off balance, in a way. So this is where you could start looking at video game UI database, or game UI database. I always say video game. It's game UI database, which is this link right here. And we can start looking at title screens, right? Menu. Main menu. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. So you can start looking at this and like see, okay, what are maybe some other sci-fi main menus that kind of have a similar sort of experience that I am trying to communicate as a developer, right? Like this Planetfall one. This is another sci-fi one that you could kind of copy the layout of. So you could, and this is not me saying this is all better. This is all just different ways to approach it. And there are probably other ways that are even better to go about it, and the developer will be able to find those routes forward. So throwing this over here, you know, I feel like we're getting closer to now having this feel a little bit more deliberate, right? If we do this and then kind of... well, let's actually forgive my... kind of impromptu nature here of running this out. Do this, rotate, and then kind of bring it up to here. Just give us the same background that we have elsewhere. There we go. Move it further back. There we go. All right. Do this, center, and then we can make that bigger. So now we're starting to get, you know, even more feeling a little bit better, kind of dragging it out a little bit into the space. We have this whole thing. And then there's a whole lot of other permutations you can keep on exploring here. You could explore, what if we put roadmap and credits over here? And so now we kind of simplify this even more. Roadmap and credits could also then be de-emphasized a little bit. Or any other number of routes. You can keep playing around with this in order to explore different routes. Like, what if we do a secondary button style that's kind of like this, and then the stroke is this blue, and then maybe the white kind of tone down a bit. Let's bring a little bit of that blue in and then make it kind of white, right? So we've gone from this over to something like this, right? And I think that's an interesting direction to approach. Of course, I've got the roadmap and everything off the line from the top of that Astral Knight. You could also bring it down. You could replace them with icons. You could do all sorts of stuff to kind of play around with things. Would you line the top of the title text with the button with the top of the button box? Line the top of the title text with the top of the button box, or the top of the title text with the top of the button text. I would do the button because as humans, we perceive the shape of something before we perceive the communication side of it, right? So this button, the first thing somebody thinks is square, and that's what they're going to make that shape out of. Now, if the button style were changed so that we had no fill, right, and no stroke, we could even do that. All of a sudden, yeah, we start having a different cognitive experience. We're going to want the text lined up. But because we have this shape, we have this sort of gestalt principle of psychology that we observe things as a whole, as a gestalt, rather than the individual pieces. Never heard of that site, so this is really cool. Yeah, Game UI database is awesome. Love to see the key art in the background of the start screen. The way you're setting up the UI, there would be plenty of room for the ship flying out of the vortex. That's a great point. We can explore that. Let's look at Star Night. Let's grab that key art off of Steam. Store page. Pause. I'm going to have to pick up the actual URL and open it in the web. So you'd want to manipulate this a little bit, right? But you could totally have something like this. We kind of bring this to the back a little bit. More. And then nuke this. And we're just going to kind of make this a little bit gross. Right? You could explore something like this. You definitely want some way to bring these buttons forward. You could do that a couple of different ways. You could have a shape behind them like you had in the original version. Come on. So you could have a shape, and we'll make it like that light blue color or something, and then set it to opacity. That's a cheap way to do it. Lime Blossom with the clear hat. Oh, thank you. You could also change the button style. So this is all just an example of, like, there's a billion different ways you can approach design. And once again, the biggest thing I can ever recommend to anyone that is intimidated by graphic design but really likes programming is just remember, design really is just the scientific method applied over and over and over again. You're just trying out experiments, right? You're saying like, oh, well, this is like too low in contrast. It's going to not work well. But what if we brought in like some of this purple? Okay, we start getting some interesting stuff. I'm not loving that blue anymore. What if we try, we have this sort of silvery color that we're using for the key art, for the typographic logo. Let's bring that in and maybe try the purple again. Not really loving it. We got this blue that we think is maybe working well. That contrast isn't quite working right. So you just keep on trying things over and over and over again until you land on something that you like, right? And over 50 iterations, you find the right place. And that's really all graphic design is. Absolute random thing. We got a negative review in on Attack on Hex Island. They were so polite and vague. We are now an official game on Steam. Congrats. Congrats, Prodigal. Program am I working in? This is Figma. Yeah, thank you, Blades. Appreciate that. Might need to revoke a gifted sub. So anyways, there's a lot of ways to explore, right? This is not an end point, but this is just ideas that could be explored. I definitely like the idea of bringing this typographic logo in over this one. This feels very like pre-alpha prototype to me. This feels like real production right here. So highly recommend bringing that in. Like if we can, this is where Photoshop would be better than Figma for what I'm doing. Because we could actually isolate that text a lot more. But, throwing that in right there, that just looks way better, right? And then you could bring in that same text styling, more or less, into your buttons, and stuff starts to feel very cohesive. Okay, that's enough on the title screen. I think we get the idea. And unless Nick, you're wanting us to dive further in which case I'd love to talk more about what's going to be most helpful for you. But I feel like most developers at this point are like, okay, can you please play the game? Can you just show the game? Okay. And by the way, let's just throw this link again in the chat for all those that are wanting to take a look. The kingdoms of man have long been threatened by the horrors. Incredibro, thank you. Long been threatened by the horrors of the Vortex. A wound in space, a tear in time where long-forgotten creatures were imprisoned for long-forgotten crimes. To defend against this otherworldly menace, the Order of the Vortex was formed. A group of Star Knights pledged to defend their people against the unknown terrors lurking beyond the veil. But now, something dangerous is stirring in the heart of the Vortex. It wasn't before? According to scattered reports from various outposts, a powerful force is gathering, one that could potentially unleash the Dark God imprisoned at the center of the Maelstrom. Okay. I'm in ads? Dang it. Oh, man. This is a terrible time to be in ads. Okay, Nick, we're reading through this. Basically, I said, I feel like most developers really want us to move past the main menu discussion and get into the game. So we've jumped into the game. But if you want to keep talking about UI and everything, we can definitely keep doing that. We can jump into the settings menu, whatever's going to be of most value to you. Prodigal gave virtually everyone constructive criticism. I have a rough time with it. I have a very rough time with it as well. It is very difficult. And we talk about courage a lot on the channel, how making something is courageous, sharing it with the world is courageous, and then sharing it with people and accepting feedback is another level of courageous. So big ups to Nick. Despite the danger, a single knight of the Order has volunteered to brave the endless void and venture to the very heart of the Vortex to discover what is happening, put a stop to it before it's too late. Okay, so this is a very, very cool setup. I think it could be even cooler, though. Courtesy of Endo, good to see you. Welcome in, friend. Hope you're doing well. We're in the text crawl. Want to make it something cooler. Yeah, I would agree with that. Bring some more visual interest in. Absolutely. Hey, guys. So, if we talk narrative design here, right? We have ancient creatures that no one remembers that were imprisoned for a crime that no one remembers. If no one remembers it, let's not talk about the crime, and then you can disclose that over time and make the player character feel smart and like they're discovering something over time, right? So it could be something like what's the kaiju versus giant mech movie? Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was like monsters showed up one day. That sucked. We had to defend ourselves. And that's very real, right? If you get invaded by an extra-dimensional force that you were unaware of existing, you're not going to know their motives. You're not going to know that they were imprisoned long ago. So they come in, and then as you play, you uncover the rest of the story, and you feel like you are discovering and you're making an impact on the world, and you are feeling very clever and smart, right? So you can kind of drip feed that in to the player over time. Godzilla versus King Kong, sure. Interested what you think about the hub menu, which is what's next. Okay. 3 back-to-back patches and working. I want to release today. Thanks to feedback. Nice, nice. And it's worth noting this isn't early access. It launched in early access yesterday. We were going to play Enshrouded today, but then saw that this was in early access and thought, nah, we got to do this. Okay. So, taking a look at this, my eye doesn't really know where to go. Tatas, good to see you. I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you doing today? My eye doesn't quite know where to go. It definitely zooms up here and rests up in this sort of spinning nebula, which is a really cool piece of art. My guy. What's going on? Come here. Come here. All right. Junior Dev is joining the stream, everyone. All right. So my eye definitely goes here, but I don't know where else to go with my eye. I kind of go to this Enter the Vortex, and I see all of this kind of somewhat high contrast and bounce around. Eventually, I see this border, and I kind of start to piece together, okay, is this supposed to be like a skeuomorphic panel of my spaceship that I am actually pushing buttons on? Bought Risk of Rain 2 today, playing right now with friends. Awesome. I've never played Risk of Rain 2 multiplayer, but I hear it's incredible, and I really enjoyed Risk of Rain 2 single player. I've got like 60 hours in that or something. I'm curious what you do with the crew section. With the ship you currently have, you only have 1 slot for crew, but other ships have more. Okay. Yeah, so I was going to bring that up. This is off-centered, right? And if you only have 1 person, just center it. I know that's a little more dev work. That's unfortunate. But it really does do a lot to communicate intention. So, all right. We're jumping back into Figma. Y'all are getting me going with these questions. Okay. Hey, leave the microphone alone. Dork. So let's go here, right? Woo! This is our base. Let's grab one that we can edit. So crew, definitely let's center that underneath crew, right? Hey. Stop grabbing things. Hypnoticris, this is Star Knight Order of the Vortex. Let me put the link in chat once again for any of you looking to check it out. It went into early access yesterday, And it is a bullet hell shmup roguelite. Really excited to get into the game. We have yet to get into the actual game. We're doing a lot of UI analysis on menus and stuff. Centering is free if you're using some sort of UI container. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what engine you're in, right? I don't know what engine you built this in, Nick. Like, if you're in Godot, or I'm assuming Unity has something similar. GameMaker, not quite as generous on the UI front. That's what you said an hour ago. Listen, comments like that aren't helping us get to the game faster. All right. So we've got crew, we have Starfighter, we have Enter the Vortex, and then Void Crystal. So my issue with this screen, first off, is that I don't have a direction of where to go. And to me, it's not really selling that concept of the skeuomorphic panel type sort of experience, right? So centering that's a good way to kind of reduce some of the visual noise, because when we have this here, our eye line is getting broken, right? It's kind of like coming over here, we have a header, and then it slants down off of this diamond, and then we hit these other diamonds and the button, and we're just kind of like, oh my gosh, where do we go? This at least is communicating more, look, this is a section, this is a section, this is a section. But honestly, what I would do is I would kind of change this up a little bit. I'm here for menus and UIs. Could look at those all day. Very nice. Centering idea is great. I wonder if there's some way to also indicate that other ships have more crew. If I see it centered, I'm probably not going to recognize that other ships have more slots. So, and that's an interesting point. And this is why design is all about 6, right? So you got to be a little bit careful with that sort of a thing. The stream is lagging? Oh. Are we back? Oh, we're getting a ton of dropped frames. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. We went up to like 15% dropped frames. It looks like it's going down. Are we back? Everyone hearing things all right? Okay, great, thanks. Yeah, weird. I don't think I've almost ever experienced that on the stream. There must be something going on locally. Okay, cool. Thank you. So, I was saying you can have like this sort of layout where you have, this is your active one, and then this is the max. But the danger with that, as I was saying, was people may think, oh, I can upgrade into this. I start with 1, but by the end of my run, I could have 6, right? Well, that's not technically true. So I think more than trying to allude to it in this one instance, I would probably, over here in this section, have maybe some sort of description about what this Starfighter is, that will give a hint to people that, oh, there's more stuff later on. Is Twitch ingest servers worked again? I don't know. It's working again? Good. I'm glad. So, okay, Guy, I kind of need both hands for the UI design. Can I set you down for like 2 seconds? What if I give you a really big mushroom hat to play with? Will that be cool? You look so tired. I think on the next ad break, we're going to try and get this guy down for napkins. There you go. Go play with the giant mushroom. Okay. Can I eat the mushroom hat? Well, he definitely can. So, okay, let me try and play around with some stuff here. So if we grab this, drag it down, we'll do another iteration. We can say Warhorse MK3 Starfighter. We can then also say basic but efficient ship with a small crew, right? Whatever people you're finding they are not really understanding very clearly, you can kind of call that out here. This is your baseline. This is your SMG. This is the thing that everything else becomes compared with. Looks like we also have a black stroke around it a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, we can take that down to a 1. So that's a kind of a small idea. Another idea is you could have... I don't know what your philosophy is on this, but you could do the your buttons here, right? Let's see. Let's stay consistent with our button colors. Make that less opaque. So, hat tower prodigal? What? I thought we only had 1 hat tower per stream. Outrageous. Outrageous. Oh, and we're in ads. Okay, all right, I'll be right back. I'm going to try and get Kid down. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Woo. Hat Tower. First, wait a minute, did everything get reset? Because first was definitely already redeemed. Oh, because the stream went down and it reconnected. Oh, that's why. Oh dear. All right. Let's do the Hat Tower. I mean, well, I'm a man of the people. Just for fun, it's too late. I already accepted it. It's already there. All right. Woo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. -1. Ah! Okay. I see my choo-choo on your head. Okay. All right. So, you can have this and then slide around to the other ships. And then you can even display them with a silhouette or something, right? You can say, you know, have like a question mark here. And you can kind of somewhat indicate that they exist while still giving a good payoff when you unlock them, right? So that's one possibility. Okay, hold on. I think I missed a message. More description in the actual screen rather than only in the ship select submenu. Okay. Sounds like there's maybe more to this. So this is the danger of me jumping straight into UI without actually experiencing it first. My biggest concern that I have is that this Enter the Vortex is breaking up our sections here. So we have Starfighter, we have Void Crystal, we have Crew. I don't totally know what each of these things do, nor how customizable they are. My current guess, from a first impressions, is that Starfighter and Crew are more related to each other, and Void Crystal is maybe Ascension difficulty levels. And so if that's the case, that makes sense to have it near Enter the Vortex, but I would definitely move Crew and Starfighter next to each other, and then make Void Crystal a different heading style. So we've got Starfighter and then Crew, and then Enter the Vortex with Void Crystal being kind of a separate section and really visually communicate that. So we have our ship configuration, our player configuration, and then the game configuration. Oh. Whoops. More hats. Purple best color every time, Zaf. So, okay. Set the kid down. Let's see what we can kind of crank out here. If we go to this, kind of bring it down. Woo! I do that a lot on accident. So, if we grab this, we'll paste that in over here. I'm just going to make it roughly the same size. And then we get the Crew, and we're going to paste it, in over here. Make it roughly the same size. A little bit smaller, matching that text size up. And then kind of blocking this all out with color. Okay. So once again, the order in which we present things can really communicate certain things, right? And then you can even add a little tiny graphical embellishment like a little line, right? To communicate this is a section, this is a section. Or you can break it up into multiple screens. There's a lot of different ways to approach it. Now, I don't know that Void Crystal is Ascension difficulty. I'm just going off of an assumption, and we'll have to verify that when we actually get into the game. But I think we're getting closer to a better kind of direction to guide the player in. Let's keep on trying some more iterations, see how far we can take this. I do definitely think we need a secondary button style. Like this return to menu should not be the same button style as enter the vortex. This is the primary path we want people to go into. So if we replace this with return to the menu, or you could even say menu, right? And like a little carrot. And even kind of phase it out. Now my eye is not getting drawn up to that upper left corner nearly as much. I'm getting more in here, so we're in the right direction. Void Crystal is Ascension. Cool. That's what I was wondering. Let's make a new version. What do you think of making this entire screen similar to the Monster Train start screen? That would give more room for cool art on the left-hand side. Let's look at Monster Train. Once again, Game UI database. Monster Train. It's always a really good idea to search for do we not have screenshots? Sometimes the search is a little bit borked. I have noticed that. Let's just do a Google search for Monster Train. It's always good to get inspiration from other sources, especially sources that are outside of your genre. So like I've done projects for agencies before where they were making a menstrual cramping like juice you could drink to help the cramps. And one of the inspirational sources I went to was Ford Trucks because it was accomplishing a similar goal of the organization, how we were trying to get, but in a different space. And that can kind of widen your experience a lot. Don't know if I missed it, but I was wondering if you saw that the ship itself is a button that leads to a ship select. Oh, no kidding. I would not have imagined this was a button. I just assumed this was informational. So I definitely think we need some sort of signifier there. So if we want that to be a button instead of like a toggle, you could... okay, hold on. Let's go back to the game real quick. I have a... Ah, ha, 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 ha. Okay, so I don't get anything unless I hover over them. I would have gone straight to enter the vortex, and it's going to let me. It's going to let me go in, not selecting any crew. Okay. Oh, boy, and this is, once again, color contrast. We're going to go to main menu. So, we absolutely need some sort of signifier. Click on these. Signifier being an indicator to someone of how this is supposed to be used. So, like, this water bottle. You can see it has these ridges here, right? That indicates that's where your thumb goes. That's a signifier, right? You see that all around. You've got a screwdriver here. It's got this ergonomic handle that says, like, this is where your fingers go, right? We see the same thing with buttons all the time. And you've got it here with this button, with this color block out. It looks like a button, so you expect it to be a button. Been looking for a game I saw people play in like the last 2 years, and I cannot remember. I believe it was like a 2D roguelike where on the map you were like on an ocean chart with grids to indicate what you can click on. You move vertically until you reach the boss. On the left you had a large creature or one of the... I don't remember anything like that, Prodigal. Sorry. Send a screenshot of Monster Train on Discord. Thank you. Let's check this out. Aha. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Here we go. So, this is an interesting approach, right? So, if we were to kind of copy this, which is not to say that's the best option, but it's kind of interesting sometimes to do a copy because that can help us see why they maybe made decisions the way they did and what we can learn. I like the galaxy stuff on the top of the screen a lot. I agree. I wouldn't want to lose that. I think this is cool, and I like that sort of verisimilitude. But just to... What do you need? Are you hungry still? I really think you're tired. Okay, I'm sorry. Give me 2 seconds to go try and settle this guy. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I'm not saying to copy it exactly, but I do think it's an interesting comparison to make. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, okay, so let's go ahead and grab this. I'm going to paste. Oops. No, come on. There we go. And then, like, I'm saying, what if we did, right? What if we did copy it? Exactly. What would that tell us about the designs, right? So we've got Warhorse, MK3, Starfighter. Doot. Add in our stroke. Okay. So we've got that, and then we have this. Got kind of this panel here, and then we have ship, right? I don't even know what color to kind of make this. Maybe we don't even make it a color. Maybe it's just like here. And then you can have circles for the different ship selections. And then your description here, right? And then you have crew. Oops. Grab this. Drag this back down. Copy this in. Boost it up. And then we'll say, hey, this is selected, so it has a stroke of this kind of blue. And then the fill can be like our darkest color over here. Okay. That's the ship. That's the crew. Bring in our little slot here, and then we can make this seem a little bit more like a button as well, right? If we do this, add in a stroke, we'll add whatever stroke this is. So this is kind of the way it is vanilla. What we can do is, for our stroke, we make this like dashed, right? All of a sudden this feels a little more ready to have something placed inside of it, right? And kind of round the corners out a little bit. Before I forget, since you started to run and click no for tutorial, you have to re-enable the tutorial. Shoot. Okay, we'll do that too. Thanks, Nick. Like how the vertical layout naturally leads you down each option until you hit the enter button at the bottom. Sure. Yeah, no, that's very fair. You could do the same horizontally. It feels like the galaxy is more at home in a landscape area. Could be. Could be. Recommend adding a never show this again confirmation. Yeah, I could see that. Problem with this approach is that some ships can have multiple crew. That would be harder to do in this style. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, because like then you have, when you have your crew selected, right? If you've got multiple crew, you've got your picture of your crew in here. Hey, look, it's a crew. I'm a full-time illustrator, in case you didn't know that. So, you know, this is like clearly in an active and filled state. This is in a state that is not done yet. You could even add, like a plus sign in here. And throw this way up, and then change its opacity. Now it's really inviting a player to come in and click on it, right? This is really like, ooh, you need to do something here. You can't just have your crew and eat it too. So anyways, this is something to explore, right? I do like this sort of approach. I just think it needs, like, do we need all of these void crystals present 100% of the time? Like, if we go down here, you can see we've got a thing that you slide around. Does seeing all of these numbers communicate something to the player? Now, to play devil's advocate, something that it could do is, like, look how far we've come, right? So if your game is really about progressing through those tiers, it may be worth visualizing that somewhere, somehow, even if it's not there. If we go to Game UI database, can we search for, like, Ascension? Are we going to get some interesting perspectives on this? No, that's not the right kind of Ascension. But I'm curious how many roguelikes have everything completely displayed and how many have it kind of chunked together in this way, right? And I would wager most of them are going to be chunked together. Like Slay the Spire. Oh, man. Game difficulty. Let's try game difficulty. And we will axe Ascension. Yeah, I'm not... The search thing is really dumb. It says search for games, but then it seems like you can't actually search for games. So I don't quite know what's going on there. But, you know, you can see these are like their own menu. So you click select difficulty and then it displays this, right? So it's progressively disclosed is what we call that. And I think there's maybe something to that. So if we go here and we say, let's grab this. We'll blot this out. Drag it up. We're going to put the 1 in here. And then we add in some text, like the standard difficulty for Star Knight, right? And then throw our stroke on there too. Cut that. And then we grab, oh, come on. Grab our button. Standard difficulty. We make it nice and big. Like, there's definitely ways you can play with this, right? Trying to get this more or less aligned. It's hard without, like, the actual design files to be manipulating the real text and everything. But you get the idea. Okay. Let me grab these. Oh, we do have that in there. So if we go into the game, I'm curious what it looks like when we actually select a ship. So you've got these like hidden, and that's good. So you can kind of get a little bit of a preview of what these are. That's good. Okay, let me grab this information here, and then we're gonna go back to Figma because I think we're kind of missing some opportunities here. What would happen if we just did this, right? You know, kind of exploring that idea of you have a starfighter section, and then you have a rest of, like, starting the game section. Sorry, where's our thing we were working on before? Ah, it's down here. And bring crew down here, grab this, make this nice and purple, grow you up. You know, I'm not saying this is the right way, certainly, but I think it's an interesting thing to explore and how we can kind of start to get, like, this is not a good flow yet. It's not there yet. But I think it's going in a direction that is interesting. And then as well, for this, I think this background needs some more shading. Like, the level of detail that we have on this ship should correspond roughly to what we have available to us over here. So if we add in, you know, just some light banding here in a way. And remove the stroke. Your fill is like this brighter color. Maybe a little bit brighter. Tekken, thank you so much for the follow. Tekken mit Netten. Appreciate you. You know, you can build in some shading in here. We kind of have this sort of concentric line experience going on here. And another good inspiration for this might be like Star Wars or Star Trek. You see, like, what sort of graphical embellishments have they added? They probably have like some geometric lines here and there that are kind of bisecting the space up a little bit and creating some more interest, maybe adding in a little bit of color. You could look at Nine Souls. Nine Souls is another game that had really good just kind of graphical embellishments in the UI for no other reason than to be there, and it was incredible, right? So this is not good, but you'll be able to find things that are good. If we go to Nine Souls, please don't tell me you can't find anything. Dude, you do not find any games. Show all games. Genre? Metroidvania? Game aesthetic? That's kind of interesting. Let's do show all games. And then can I search in here? Nine Souls. Dude, your search is so busted. That's very disappointing. All right. We're in the Z's. Let's go to N. Come on, you gotta have 9 souls in here. This is a recent release and it was gorgeous. An S. R, V. Pokemon. O's. Almost at the ends. Here we go. Do you not have 9 souls? Oh, bro. All right. 9 souls. 9 souls UI is phenomenal. It's really, really good. So you can see how they kind of have like just this kind of Taoist sort of hexagonal embellishment here. We have this little line here, this little double line here, right? These little lines above the health bar. There's a lot of ways to kind of bring in a little bit more life and sell the illusion that this is a panel on your ship. Just check the Slay the Spire. It's pretty similar to Monster Train. Sure. Yeah. 2D Fighter, good to see you on YouTube. One thing I hope to communicate is that the Ascension system is less of a difficulty system, but mainly about progression, as further unlocks also give buffs and new content or mechanics. Okay, that's interesting. We can play with that for a little bit. I had a comment saying that the game felt samey. I said that I think you unlocked more content over time, but I wasn't sure exactly how to do that. Slay the Spire has like a number with increase, decrease buttons next to it. Sure. Nice hat. Thank you. It's an amalgamation of many, much like me. Or maybe just aim for something similar to challenge. To T-Boy challenge comes from having targets to get to in order to unlock further boss progression. Could be. Isn't really anything that explains that there is new content or mechanics as you progress, so maybe I could add something that gives the player that nudge and expectation to work towards. Taking note from an OG roguelike, Isaac at some points says stuff like enemies are now harder or you can now go deeper. Yeah, you can now go deeper. That's a good one. It's a one-time pop-up that makes it clear without polluting the whole UI with it. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, when you beat the game, right, you can have, or you when you unlock your thing. Let's say you get a little thing saying, the core quakes or something, right? This is where you can start bringing in a little bit more of the lore too that we were talking about, some of that narrative design, and then you say, or you know, you have obtained. Oh, it's on title case, okay. You have obtained a void crystal. More challenges and upgrades await deeper inside the core, right? And then you have your new run button. New run. So that's definitely a good option. You could do that. Another thing you can do is over here, you can have different graphics for each of these. I mean, this is 12, so it's a lot of like increments. But for number 2, you could start to have like something like this. Right? We start to have stuff impacting the design to kind of indicate, ooh, this is getting real crazy, until we get to the very end and there's like, you know, some insane like particle effects coming off of it, and maybe it's like cracked open and there's bits and pieces of it floating around, right? You can get more and more crazy, and that will kind of implicitly communicate to people, oh, stuff is getting more intense. I get that that's a little bit weird because this seems to be like summing up different void crystals instead of specifically like you have the level 1 void crystal and now a level 12 void crystal. It's like you now have 12 void crystals, but you kind of get the idea. There's ways to explore communicating that. Speaking of lore, I thought the lore sounded really cool of the idea of cosmic horror creatures and the lone knight heading into disaster. I was confused to see myself fighting a bunch of different ships though. Right now it just says ship's name, unlocked new void crystal, unlocked. You could definitely use some more embellishment. Sure, yeah. Thank you, Quantic. If you're interested in more lore, that is partially the reason for the Codex. The Codex gives more stats for enemies, bosses, but also more lore for everyone. There you go. All right, where are we at with ads? Ads are starting soon. So we're going to go ahead and pause here until we get to the ads, and then we're going to jump into the actual game itself. I feel like we've kind of talked about this screen to death. But But let's take a look at the crew. So this is cool, right? This is the same sort of thing where we have like a bunch of empty slots. And we get hints as to what they are. Although that title is too close to the selection. It's bumping up against this diamond here. We need some more spacing there. And it needs to be more spacing between the diamond and the title than the title and the unlock requirement, right? So we need to... Things that are closer together are perceived to be more related to each other. So we want the text to be very close to each other and to be farther away from the full group there. Let me have the gun. 20% increase to weapon-related stats. 10% decrease to non-weapon-related stats. And then 20% increase to non-weapon-related stats. 10% decrease to weapon. I mean, let's definitely go for the gunner, right? It's a little weird that you can jump in without any crew. A little weird. Visual tangents. Exactly, Zap. Absolutely. Okay. Ads. Yes, thank you. Let's re-enable that tutorial. Boop. Boop, boop. Okay. And then we do have a roadmap here. Good to see. This could use embellishments too. We've got, you know, tangents up here with the R and the D hitting up right next to it. So just building out some more spacing in that, letting everything breathe a little bit, be helpful. Okay, I think we're all back from ads. So I was saying, roadmap is really cool. Build some more spacing in here. Let everything breathe a little bit better. Right? We got like 1 pixel of space right there. Perfect. Great, Nick. Welcome back. So we need to make this screen breathe a little bit better. This is a really cool screen to have in the game. It is exactly the sort of thing people look for in roguelikes nowadays. But we need to just tighten up this visual design, make everything breathe, shrink this roadmap down a little bit. We already clicked into roadmap. We kind of know we're in roadmap. We have major update in title case, and then these in all caps. Definitely make those consistent all the way across. Yes, and there will be a VOD, Nick. Absolutely. And then bringing some visuals into this would also help. We have demo release, early access, major update, full release. Having some different like visual treatment on that would help scannability. Once again, this is like, you're a team of 1, so is this really where you should be investing your time? Probably not. We're just kind of doing this mostly as an academic exercise. But if you had like a graphic designer, it wouldn't be a bad idea to say, hey, can you draw up like an actual good roadmap for us? Have an icon for stages, an icon for bosses, an icon for these things that will kind of help people scan this list and understand what it is that they're seeing. Okay. Let's dive in. We're going to go gunner. Yeah, and Nick, I'm glad this is being helpful. If there's anything you'd like more or less feedback on, let me know. And as well, we say this for people on the channel because we have like a Critique My Game channel point reward. We also have a Showcase Your Game channel point reward. So if you just want to like have the game showcase, we can just also do that as well. Because not everyone is asking for critiques. And since you're here, I will let you, you can choose to not do that. Roadmap is a bit confusing. Is that showing the total stages in the game or what is being added in each section? Good question. You have a color palette for the game. I've seen the purple, the gray from the title, the gray from these panels, the teal here, the blue from the buttons. Yeah, it does seem a little varied. Art is definitely the hardest part for me as my budget is limited for getting cool art and I'm not a good pixel artist myself, unfortunately. Maybe not the hardest, just not so good at. And that's always going to be the case. You're always going to have something you're not good at in solo dev, and that's fine. So a lot of that goes back to like the planning stages, right? Of I am going to plan an art direction that does not require me to be a good pixel artist in order to execute something. And you see a lot of examples of that all over the place. We could talk about that if we wanted to, but let's dive into the tutorial for now. I'm not good at any of it yet. I feel you, Blades. Okay. Ooh, text box. There was a little bit long of a delay there. Welcome to the Vortex. You're undertaking perhaps the most important quest of all time. As Grand Master of the Order, it is my duty to make sure you are completely prepared for the trials ahead. Press enter to continue. This could be replaced with like a enter icon from a zero talent art dev. For me personally, really helps sticking to 2 or 3 colors. I can see that. Restrictions can help a lot. Like we've got this bright red, bright green, bright blue, bright green, which is going to be good for contrast, but also feels kind of out of nowhere. Okay, use WASD to move your ship. Besides simply moving, you also have the ability to dash. While dashing, you're invincible. You got iframes, okay. Spacebar. Nice. Okay. I almost would have expected shift, but space works too. Vortex is... I did not get to read that other one. Vortex is filled with asteroids. Okay, I didn't get to read that either. Great. So, dash through. Okay. I would like some sort of an indicator of when I actually am invincible against... what are my iframes? How tight is a window for that? Like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. So the ship fades kind of in and out. The tail fades in and out. I thought the tail fading was a sign of my iframes. So in like a shmup, I feel like that's kind of important to communicate to the player when are you actually invincible, when are you not, so you can develop that feel a little more quickly. You're going to have a lot of stuff thrown at you. You're not going to have a lot of time to think about it. Also, this background is great. We've got this purple. We've got the sort of nebula giant asteroids in the background. Why is that not in the main screen? Purple space. I approve of this game already. Yeah. How to survive the first map without a weapon. Press escape to pause the game. See your current stats and other valuable information. Okay. This is itty bitty. Oh man, and look at this huge space between crew and then the icon and the character. That's a huge amount of space. I would revisit this screen. I would revisit this. I think there are some better layouts that could be explored. Yeah. Scaling is a huge problem for widescreen right now. Well, this is in 1920 by 1080. So, take that for what it's worth. God, it's so hard to read these buttons. Continue. Continue should also probably be the top button. And then main menu should be the bottom button. Like continue, settings, main menu. That's just Jacob's Law. The happy path is going to be like the top most thing. The most destructive action is the most far away thing, right? Working on it, but I promise that it looks better on a smaller screen. I believe you. I believe you, Nick. I believe you. In the top left, you'll see 3 bars. The red bar is your health, and if that reaches 0, it's all over. Sure. Blue bar represents your shields. Your ship is protected by an energy shield, which can absorb damage. It will recharge over time. Sure. Okay. Green bar represents your boost. When it's completely filled, you can press space to dash or do other things. It needs to fill all the way back up. Okay. White bar at the top of the screen represents your progress. Great. I like that. I like having some sort of indicator of how far along I am. Credits, super arcadey. Very arcadey feel there. Find the red light to continue. Be aware of blue lights, indicating areas of great challenge, but great reward. So is that like my map decision? All right. Makes sense with button placement. Okay. Ooh, and we have white text on a button. I can read it. Great. Credits collected 1, total credits 6. This is the shop where you buy and upgrade attachments for your ship. These are your credits. Spend them on buying and upgrading attachments. Ah, okay. So this is currency. I thought this was like continues, tries. I thought this was, that's what I initially thought was with the font and the placement and everything. I thought this was, I have put in 6 quarters into this machine and now I get 6 lives, right? Spend them on buying and upgrading attachments. Sure. These are attachment cards. Purchasing them adds new offensive and defensive capabilities to your ship. Sure. Come in different classes and take different forms. Sure. This is the cannon. It's part of the gun class and costs 5 credits. Okay. Having more than one attachment of the same class grants powerful synergy bonuses. So you want to kind of load in on one thing, right? Make sure you buy that cannon. These are your attachment slots. Purchasing an attachment takes up an attachment slot, okay? Buying more than one of the same attachment does not take up another slot. Okay, so it's kind of like gotcha combination type sort of stuff. So it upgrades that attachment into a more powerful version. This is the reroll button. If you want different attachment options, click here to spend 2 credits and reroll. Okay. If you see an attachment you want but can't get it at the moment, lock it in to prevent it from being rerolled. Okay. Okay. So, thoughts on this screen. First off, we get like a textured background. That is great. That's what I was talking about on the other screen. If we go back to Figma here, we have reroll up here next to credits and level. I don't really know what level is unless that's like how far you are through your run. Oh, we have our crew members down here. That's good. So typically what we see in a lot of these types of games is reroll tends to be closer to the options, right? And then our happy path button would be somewhere like in this lower right. And then we just grab like, you know, that, paste, bring it in. Okay. So, if we kind of block this out, to me, this feels more what I might expect is we have our locks right next to it, we have our rerolls. Now, we also have these 3 slots. Can I put 3 different weapons in these slots? Or is it like 1 weapon, 1 repair, 1 AoE? I'm overwhelmed. Help me, Fox. Explain this to me. What are you overwhelmed by? So essentially using an auto chest style system. If you get the same attachment twice, it upgrades, and each attachment has a class. You get multiple attachments of the same class, it gives you a synergy bonus. Right, yeah. Just as a heads up, that bottom right area where you put the continue button is where relics go, which you can unlock during a run, but I do like the reroll button change. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, and this is all of a sudden starting to talk about way far beyond what are simple changes and everything, and these are all just ideas, right? But it may be helpful to have a second section here, and this is where relics go, because then they're going to be by your crew members. I'm assuming you're probably going to be wanting to reference your crew and your relics within relatively the same amount of time. So by doing that, we're reducing the amount of space we have to move the mouse over to get to our happy path and to change from looking at the crew versus looking at the relics. Now they're a lot closer together. That can be a good thing. Once again, we haven't really actually played the game yet, so this is all just random thoughts. And I feel like there's got to be a better space for these things. There's got to be a better way to kind of include this, but we've spent enough time already without getting into the game. Just need lunch waiting for it to heat up. You put 1 attachment in each slot, doesn't matter what it is. Okay, so you can have 3 different guns. Got it. Okay, so we'll grab that. Fires an AoE blast that destroys all enemy bullets. Sure, let's lock that in. That sounds cool. 2 hours later, are we 2? No, we're an hour and a half. Come on, Prodigal, don't gaslight me like that. Stage 1, the Maw. Continue could be bottom center. UI is almost an arrow pointing down to that part of the screen. Could be. Could be. It's a little weird I can't destroy meteors. And that is kind of a perception that you're probably going to get from people, I would imagine, that's going to be coming from, like, asteroids, right? And a lot of other shmups have destructible obstacles. Especially since I'm, like, blasting extra-dimensional space horror ships. Why can't I blow up a rock? Feels a little strange. And that may be one of those things that's like, oh, it's so heavily baked into the design of the system. There's not, like, a great way to do that without kind of saying they're not just meteors, they're special meteors. So I understand that, but just something to be aware of. I like the effects that are here. I feel like some pitch modulation would not go amiss on some of these sound effects. Do you plan on making asteroids a lot more integral part of the game? I've gotten a ton of feedback wanting to be able to destroy asteroids. Yeah, okay, that doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all. Okay, enemies killed 8, credits collected 7, total credits 8. All right. Ooh, let's grab the... Oh, it costs 10 credits now. Boo. Let's lock that. Levy Fighters. Spawns Levy Fighters, which buff fire rate and damage multiplier for each fighter alive. Wait. So the more summons I have, the stronger they are? That sounds good. I'm like super a necromancer type sort of player. I love pet classes, so let's definitely try that. Ooh, okay, I feel like I leveled up. Don't get hit by the asteroids. All right, you're fine. Good. Yeah, this is feeling much more productive. Vertical movement is really slow. It feels kind of hard to actually line up with someone. Woo! Like, I'm using dash to move around more than I am to dodge bullets. That is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, like, something that I'm feeling right now and that maybe I need to figure out the pace of the game. Okay. We're moving through our progress. We've got a bunch of credits. So we're definitely getting our level 2 cannon. Woo! Darn it, missed that one. Getting our shield back up. Oh, there we go. Get some credits. Nice. All right, almost 20. Not bad. Feel free to ditch the cannon now that you have other ways to kill things. Yes, either starting with the cannon or getting 3 weapons for your first shop may not be a bad idea. I don't really know how the meta progression works out over time, so that's another thing to kind of keep an eye on. These diamonds. I like that they're different colors. I don't like that they're all the same diamond. It kind of feels like this is a big placeholder, which it probably is. And I would hope so, that this is a placeholder for other things, icons to replace that. Ooh, Zaft, yes, absolutely. A chaining shot that applies poison. I am also a very big poisoner. So we've got 3 offensive abilities for our 3 slots. Ooh, that was nice. Yeah, anything where I don't have to actually aim is great. So it looks like the bullets are different colors and they're different shapes. So our bullets are blue and oval. Theirs are red and circular. This is getting rad. I like that we're only 3 levels in, and I'm feeling a lot of progress. Those are some good upgrades. These are upgrades that feel impactful and are satisfying to have purchased. I don't know that I feel my cannon is all that upgraded. Like, maybe the fire rate went up. I didn't actually read the stats. I was kind of just expecting it to be apparent when I opened into the game, and I'm not totally sure what I'm seeing. Recently increased base speed by 15%. I'm struggling with that a bit as people say it's slow, but other ships and attachments and crew members can increase speed. And if the base speed is already fast, then they either would feel a bit worthless or go way too fast. Yeah, I totally understand that, Nick. 100%. Absolutely. Okay, so now we have our first red or blue light. Okay, so now I see kind of what the tutorial was trying to tell me. Okay. 3rd level upgrades gives you a choice between 2, and that's pretty... Oh, there's like an evolution. I like that. That's really rad. So we have this arrow saying, hey, you're supposed to move forward. That's good, but I want this on one of the 2 different sections. And I have already forgotten what red or blue mean. I'm just going to go blue because it's different. I don't remember what blue is. We could do another cannon. Is that just going to take me to level 3? I don't have to get like 2 level 2s. I just need... Okay. So we mouse over it and we're getting a different path. It would be nice to have these have different names to really differentiate between them. Fires a high damage shot, a medium damage shot that explodes on impact. Okay. I think we have a decent amount of AoE, like with our poison laser and with the summons that we have. So let's get high damage shot. Looks like the speed also goes up, but not fire rate. Just speed. Okay. Sure. We'll go vanilla. And we'll lock in this toxic chain for next time and hope we can get Levy Fighters next. So I already have level 3, but I guess we're only at level 4 out of 6. I was thinking I feel like I'm progressing almost too fast, and then I'm going to run out of upgrades to boost my ship up before too long. But I guess if the runs are only 6 levels, then yeah, maybe not. Whoa, shoot. Upgrade on the right gives you the AoE class, meaning you could get the AoE synergy if you had another Wii. There's synergies? This is a mechanic I'm unfamiliar with. But the attachment icons, definitely placeholder, but hopefully they do their job for now. Sure. I mean, it's enough to quickly differentiate between things. It's not enough to see just that and intuitively understand it. Okay. Level complete! what's all this stuff? Cash Pack 2, rare, immediately gain 50 credits. Caliber upgrade, common, guns do 15% more damage. Kinetic weaponry, rare, damage for guns and seekers is increased proportional to bullet speed multiplier. So, we have a reroll button. Oh, that was a relic. I just picked a relic. I didn't know I was picking a relic. I wasn't sure if we had just unlocked something, or what exactly was going on there. Okay, understood. Synergy thing was in the tutorial, but as others said, it's a bit of an info dump, so it could have easily gotten missed. Yeah. 2 of a class gives a synergy. Okay. Gotcha. So I am very spread out here, which is not great. So it may be worth, like, dumping Toxic Chain and getting Drop Cannon so we have a second summoner. And then we start to get that synergy going. Can I sell this? How much is it going to sell for? I need to know how much it sells for. It was 5. Okay, so we're going to buy that. So now we have summoner synergy. So this really is auto chess style mechanics. We have sets. There's set collection. There is leveling up of individuals. There's a lot. Health increased by 25% for all allies. Okay. So then another thing I need to know is if I sell my cannon and I get another summon, is this going to change? Is there a level 2 synergy and a level 3 synergy? And if that's the case, I would love to have that disclosed in here as stuff that I have yet to unlock. All right, take care, Quantic. Thanks for hanging out. Best of luck on your stream. Some attachments have multiple classes and some upgrade paths can add synergies. Gotcha. Okay. So it's every 2 classes. So if I get... So my guess then is there are ships with more slots. So if I had a ship with 4 slots, I could have 4 summoners, and then that would give me the level 2 summoner synergy. Is that right? Okay. There was some confusion about not getting a bonus for a third of a class. I can understand that. Yeah. Having some sort of disclosure of like 2, get this ability and have that full opacity. And then 4, get this ability and that is semi-opaque, like it's transparent, that's one way to clear that up, right? There's infinite amounts of ways to do that, but that's one way. Without probably needing to do too much. Or even a next upgrade at 4. Although, after you've played this, like, there's something to be said for the initial discovery and the joy of like, ooh, this is cool. But once you've played it enough, you kind of want to be able to strategize around those things. You say, okay, if I get up to 4 on Summoner, is that going to be worth it for the build and the difficulty that I'm trying to do here? Is that worth it? And then having that information would be helpful. Okay. We're definitely zooming. I don't know what's buffing our speed up, but... All right, we got a bunch of credits. Ooh, manipulators. Cool. Let's get the level 4. Oh, we can't get the level 4 cannon. Okay. Guns do 15% more damage. So we're probably going to want to swap off of Summoner and move into Gun because we have guns do 15% more damage. So let's keep going. Pirate Lord Robard, Defiler of the Stars. Oh no, my stars. Oh, we already knocked out his midship turret. Starboard's going down. We're getting currency, but I thought we were at the last level. Okay, port turret down. Let's get the starboard turret. There we go. Ah, and there's the full health bar. Hey, Hidao, good to see you. Welcome in. I have to say, now that I'm getting into the game, we're kind of past like a lot of the UI analysis and discussion around that. I am really enjoying this gameplay. Like, this is for sure going to live on my Steam Deck. Is this Steam Deck compatible? It better be Steam Deck compatible, dude. Because I really want to play this. And I think, like, my young daughter would enjoy this game. Even my wife might enjoy this game because it is just very straightforward gameplay with satisfying things happening on the screen. Okay, so we get another relic now. Take 30% less damage if on the right side of the screen. I hope that will tell me when I'm on the right side. Fuzzy Buzzy, good to see you. Welcome in, friend. How you doing? Guns have 15% greater fire rate. Sure. Advanced lore mechanism. Let's go full guns. We're doing a gun build. Jeez. Okay. Oh, and we have another slot now. Oh. So it'll play it just fine on Steam Deck, though it doesn't have dedicated controller support with, like, in-game mapping and stuff. Cool. Awesome. I figure, you know, it's mostly just, you know, use the touchscreen to select things. I will say, as far as interaction patterns go, it's a little bit awkward using the mouse here. You hit continue, and then you don't use the mouse over here, and the cursor doesn't get hidden. So you're like, oh crap, okay, I need to like move the mouse out of the way so I can kind of see what's going on the screen. Is this a community game? So this was made by Nick. Nick reached out to me to showcase it, and we're taking a look at it today. This is Star Knight, I believe. I always want to call it Arc Knight, and I don't think that's the right name. Feel free to throw a link in chat if you'd like, Nick. I'll do it as well when I'm not fighting for my life here. This is a bullet hell shmup roguelite. And honestly, I'm really enjoying it. We've talked a lot about some UI improvements that could be made, or at least directions to explore for improving the UI. And I'm really enjoying the bones on this sucker. It feels great. Star Knight Order of the Vortex. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for that link. Appreciate that. This is a solo dev. They started this in college and have since kind of expanded it out to become what it is today. It just entered early access yesterday. Okay. Great. So let's get upgraded gun. And that is like all of our money. That is so expensive. But our next upgrade takes us from 200 to 300 damage. So that's a big damage jump if we can ever afford it. Okay, all right. I'm in bullet hell mode where I'm only watching my character and letting my summons deal damage for me and just hope that maybe I line up with something. That is the secret to beating bullet hells is you don't look at the enemies, you look at yourself constantly. That is all you look at. I'm liking the summons though. They feel very satisfying. I'm kind of bummed we're going to be going full guns because I have only seen one gun. And it's like fine, but I've got it up to level 4 and I'm not feeling a whole lot of upgrades in it yet. You know, for getting this high, it feels like it's a statistical change, but I don't get any feedback as the player that I have upgraded it beyond just doing more damage. So if I could observe the damage numbers, it might feel a little bit better, but I'm kind of focusing on my character. I'm not seeing the damage numbers. More summoning. Oh, man. Let's get this just to have it. Fill up that last slot. Someone gave the idea of making allied ship bullets semi-transparent to make them not add too much clutter to the screen. What do you think of that? So, what I would do on that is, instead of making just allied ship bullets go semi-transparent, I would add in a effect transparency setting. And you see that in a lot of bullet heaven games, especially. So like Soulstone Survivors does that. A whole bunch of these Survivors-like games do that. Just a quick little setting. In here, you can quickly adjust a slider and reduce the effects transparency of everything that you've done. And it does look like we're going into ads, so we'll go ahead and pause while Bezos gets his money. So yeah, is that making sense, Nick? Soulstone Survivors transparency. Let me see if I can find an example of like the actual setting itself. Nordic Ashes does it as well. You know, no one likes to take screenshots of menus. Nordic Ashes transparency. Yeah, when you Google that, it's like, oh, here's our roadmap. Look how transparent we're being. Like, no. That's not, that's not what we're looking for. I would open it up right now, but then I'd have to turn off Star Knight, which I don't want to do. But anyways, it's just a slider. It will make all of the effects from the player more or less transparent. That's all. Let's see here. Let's. So this is like full transparency applied, right? Transparent attacks. Yeah, while we're in ads, I'm just going to try and like bounce around here, see if we can find a good screenshot of transparent. Probably we'd have to look for like a YouTube, because they would almost certainly have this. No, that is full opacity. Holy crap. YouTubers like the effects, man. Well, in any case, ad just barely started. Whew, that was a long wait time. So if we were, so it looks like these go down, right? This can be, these can go all the way down. I'm trying to think, how do you communicate that this is its own section really well? What if we went to like Cobalt Core? Okay. This will be an interesting thing to discuss when we're out of ads. Or a dark panel behind the squares? Could be. Could be. Okay. Oh, I think my son is awake again. Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, here we go. All right. All right, guy, we're here. We're here. Did you have a good nap? Is that a good time? That was like 10 minutes. That was practically nothing, my dude. Yeah. Okay. So, Cobalt Core, right, is maybe something interesting to investigate here in how they are making things feel like you're looking through a window, but also there's like distinct sections for things, right? Let's see here. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Here we go. I'm looking for the kind of upgrade screen. So we can see their upgrade screen as well. So, you know, you've got kind of a similar vibe in some ways. I just think they had probably more team members to round stuff out. So they had like more specialists for art and everything and layout that could be learned from, right? So anyways, that's something that I would start looking at, is maybe approaching this by kind of the way Blades was saying, possibly having some sort of unifying element around it. And you can stylize it, you can add some indents and everything, and then you have your, you know, your strokes and all that, but okay. So, anyways, just thoughts, random ideas. Let's keep going. I'm going to hit escape because I don't know which button is resume. Man, I'm so bummed about like how I have all of these cool summons. Like, I've definitely gotten a lot of upgrades for summons, but my relics are all guns. That, oh, it just makes me so sad. And that is not an uncommon thing in roguelites. I'm not saying that there needs to be a fix for this. In fact, you need in roguelites, a lot of the strategy comes from doing the best with imperfect circumstances. But, ooh, that is a feeling. The attachment slots in a segmented block does sound like a good idea. You know, and there's probably a good way to visually represent that, you know, I did not explore. But, all right, once again, I'm going to go blue. I really want to figure out what blue actually does. Hey, we get some guns! We got guns! All right, let's get rid of the drop cannon and build a siphon druid. So now we have shot speed increased by 50% for all guns. So this is the speed, not fire rate. This is projectile speed. Okay. Fires a projectile that repairs ship equal to a portion of damage dealt. Oh, that's cool. Siphon. Oh, I said siphon druid, didn't I? That shows you where my brain lives. Siphon droid. Okay. Cool. Damage of 40. Repair of 5%. Rad. Let's do it. Oh, and we can get level 2 wingman. Oh, let's do that, because just to carry us through until we're able to get the guns. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the experience here. I'm liking the enemy variety. This is a bit of a problem I have with sci-fi in general, is that ships to me are so devoid of life and character that I struggle to really identify with them. And so I was about to say I want more variety, but then I kind of caught myself and thought, well, maybe it's not that I want more variety, and maybe it's just that I don't find as much interest in spaceships. And I'm like dying for more visual variation in the ships because of that. I don't know. Ugh, God, taking a lot of damage. This is maybe an unpopular opinion among a lot of roguelikes, but I like healing up at the end of every level. I appreciate that. It's a little less stressful for me, but also it makes every level feel more like a puzzle than like an endurance gauntlet. Started using Unreal at first with my game dev stuff. I got overwhelmed. I didn't really understand what I was doing on a fundamental level. So I started using SFML2, which isn't really an engine, but a collection of libraries. And I've sort of been building an engine as I go along. Wow, nice. Very cool. We've got a couple of people in the community that have built their own engines. Credit pull radius. Reroll is 5 credits. Let's reroll. 5% increased damage for each class synergy, so that'd give us 10% extra damage. Drop off penalty for each chainer shot was removed. Oh, that sounds like a build-making relic right there. Fire rate increased by 15% for 5 seconds after collecting credit. Let's just get 5% damage increase. And upgrade our levy fighters, even though that's not necessarily incredibly helpful for us, and we'll move on. All right. Ooh, okay, we're getting some variation in the ships now. Kind of just in time for what I was talking about. Woo. Okay, dash through, good. Our main cannon is definitely doing a bunch of damage. I find it hard to actually get shots off with it, though. I'm having a lot of fun, and then I start thinking about, ooh, what about the other ships and the other upgrades and the synergies and everything, and like, I start getting really excited. My brain grapes start percolating, and that's a good sign. Because that not only means that it's decent game design, but also that I'm probably going to replay this. And with Steam, the way its algorithm works is the mean playtime, or the median playtime, the higher that is, the more likely your game is to be recommended. So you don't want like 3 people with 1 billion hours on it. You want everyone having like 10 hours. So getting that median playtime up is super big for hooking into Steam's algorithm. All right. Utility. I'd be swapping out Summoner for Utility. I'm not really sold on that. AoE and Seeker. Yeah, I think we just move forward. I don't think we buy anything. Okay, this is the last level of Stage 2. I don't know how many stages there are. Oh man, look at that. Our direct damage cannon is just obliterating this dude. Spawnara? Okay. Yeah, I don't like the idea of extra ads, please. Please go away. Ouch. Okay, we had some invuln there that I didn't know we had. Once again, a little bit of visual signifier on, hey, you're actually in the clear for a little bit. You have iframes right now would be helpful. Whether that's, you know, a flashing sprite or something, that'd be helpful. All right. And then typically in these multi-stage bosses, in order to keep the last part interesting, the last version that you kill goes into some sort of Super Saiyan mode that changes the fight a little bit. And I have built one boss fight in my life. I know that would probably be really annoying to have to build, but just discussing the customer expectations. Okay, 56 credits, let's go. Agent, good to see you, friend. How are you? Legendary, immediately gains 75 credits. I'm gonna take that. I'm taking that. So now we can get level 5 cannon, which is great. Let's reroll one. Ooh, tri-shot. A new gun. Ooh, and we have a new slot that we can fill. So let's fill that. Yes. Great. Let's reroll again, actually. More levy fighters. We don't have a way to buff that into a gun, which is a bummer. So do we want more fighters spawning or more scaling? You know what? I'm going to reroll, actually. And we can't turn this into a gun either. Bummer. Let's start getting rid of these guys. So we're going to get rid of wingmen. And we're going to buy the shotgun. So now we have level 4. Ooh, this changed from a square to a circle. That could be a little bit tighter. Shot speed increased by 50%. Fire rate increased by 25%. That's really what we're looking for, is fire rate. Your sprite does sort of fade in and out, but a bit in iframes, but it's hard to see with all the bullets. I mean, that's why I was doing, like, the dashing to try and figure out, like, is it fading out when I'm in iframes? And I couldn't figure it out. Even just in the tutorial, I was, like, dashing forward. I'm like, okay, what's the signifier here? For the boss, each one heals a bit, fires faster, and gets a new attack when another one dies. But you're totally right that there's no visual indicator of increased power. Yeah, so like even just like a, you know, electricity blast coming out of them, and now they're doing their stuff. I think that would communicate what you've already built. That's great. Education day is done. Homework is always heavy. Well, you know, I'm glad that education day is done. That's good. So you get level 2 siphon droid. That sounds good. Whoa, even more. Okay. Gun repair. We need to keep it as a gun. So we'll just get increased fire rate. And then lock siphon droid. See, now I'm starting to think, like, if I level up wingmen to level 3, will that get me into a gun? So I kind of want to be able to see the evolutions of these things because they will be able to hook into my synergies. And that would be good to know, you know? And plan out what overlap am I going to have as we continue to level up. Okay, the Demon Realm. Okay. All right, we got a bunch of bullets now. Okay, so it looks like each gun type has its own bullet sprite. That's interesting. So I'm shooting like a rainbow right now, which is kind of cool. I can kind of see more of what Zaft was saying, though, of like keeping that visually consistent for legibility reasons. And I don't necessarily know what the right answer is there, but it is an interesting design problem to consider. Like all unique attack patterns of all the enemies. Yeah, I agree. Oof, brutal. Okay. We are definitely mowing through these things as soon as I actually line up with them. There we go. Okay. Might also be nice. I don't know if there is any easing or not, but an easing Bezier curve, like an ease out on the dash, it feels like I go straight from 0 to 100 and then from 100 to 0. Instead of like going up to 100 really quickly and then kind of slowly going back down to 0. Could pick cold colors for yours and ally bullets and warm colors for the enemy bullets. Yeah. Be the first to admit that I don't have any knowledge of color scheme and consistency. Definitely a blind spot for me. Sure. Yeah. And that's fair. It's very fair. All right. Ooh. Oh, that's right. I locked that. Okay. Like, I want to know, will this repair droid eventually turn into a gun? Will it kind of like copy Siphon Droid a little bit? I don't know. But we don't really have any money for anything, so let's go forward. Just say colorblind and all is forgiven. Good to see you, Prodigal. All right. Yeah, this is definitely like a big inspiration for me of like, how do you make cool shmup weapon attacks? There's a huge variety here. So I may use this as research because it just feels really condensed in the different shmup patterns. Whereas playing something like a more dedicated shmup, it might feel a little more slow to pace things out a little bit. I may be wrong on that, but that's my impression that I have. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah, so when we're getting all these bullets firing, the music is basically gone. Right, so kind of having a sound limiter on there and then doing pitch modulation on each of those bullets would also help that sound effect a lot. Like, I would imagine Retromation playing this, or Wanderbot, and I can almost guarantee the first thing they would do is go into settings and slide this weapon sounds and sound effects way far down. But they are also notorious about doing that. 40 credits. We don't have enough, so we're just going to keep going. Stuff does seem to get pretty dang expensive as you go along. I'm not going to lie. Like, I almost wish... I don't know. It feels like my income is not necessarily scaling with the costs that I am needing to match, right? And so getting these higher level upgrades... it seems like you're going to be skipping stores more often than not. As soon as you get kind of the synergies that you're looking for, it seems like you're just going to be skipping until you finally accrue enough money to level something up. Oh man, I missed it. Or rather, I hit it, and that was the problem. My siphon gun is really keeping me alive, though. That's good. I still don't know what red or blue do. I have no clue what red or blue do. All right. Siphon droid level 4. Oh, call another siphon droid. Jeez. All right. I mean, that's going to double the amount of healing we get off of it, which seems kind of unreasonable in terms of strong. I also don't know if that is going to happen. We've only got 3 more levels. That may not be worth it. We may not actually be able to get to 80 money. And maybe the idea, and this is something you would kind of really only know after playing the game for a little while, the idea could be that you're supposed to get an income-related, some economy upgrade and slot that into your ship for a while. And then power off that, like using banks in Bloons 2D6. Like, that kind of feels like they just expect you to use banks. That is a core integral part of the game. Audio balancing is another constant battle for me. Yeah, it usually is for indie game devs. Absolutely. 2% of contact damage against enemy ships is restored as health. That's fun. 20% greater fire rate, 20% less shot speed. That's really good for us because we've got a ton of shot speed. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's do that. Orbital cannon? All right, see ya, Levy Fighters. All right, we have 5 guns. Ooh, tri-shot. Yeah, let's upgrade that. I was waiting for the 4th stage to add this, as by that point things are very expensive, but I want to add different credits that give more than 1, like a +2 credit. Also, there are merchant attachments, but I don't want them to be necessary. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because that's kind of what I'm feeling right now, is those... I've seen a couple of those economic slots, and I was wondering if that's just the... Oh, don't get hit? I didn't notice that. Okay. Did I not lose? Okay, I guess I just skipped a level. Demon King Zaragoth, forward battery. Let's blast it. Oof. Asteroid. Okay. Jeez, get nuked. What? What happened there? Okay, there was some weird frame rate stuff happening there for sure. Void Reaper Leviathan. Oh, that's a fun pattern. I like that pattern. Nice. GG. Is that it? Is that the game? Did we do a full run? No, there's another level to go. Okay. Oh! Hail! Victoria Star Knight. Once again, color contrast. Here, this black on the purple. Cool, so we get kind of our readout. Having some sort of indicator of what did the most damage would be really nice. Like, oh, your cannon did 8,000 DPS, and your orbital cannon did 32 DPS. That's always a nice thing to see. I like this kind of victory lap of this was your build. I would probably find a way to move the crew and... Oops! That little guy is moving the desk around. Hold on. There we go. Find a way to incorporate the crew and the relics relationally, positionally to the slots, because they are your loadout, right? Like, this is all your loadout, and this is your stats. These two things should relate to each other. But this sort of horizontal stop sign here is telling me this is a section, and this is a section. But in reality, statistics, crew, and relics, and unlocks don't have any relation to each other, right? Unlocking the stat screen is very lacking. Sure. Yeah. Enemies killed 352, credits collected 220, mechanic unlocked, pilot unlocked, new void crystal unlocked, battering ram unlocked. Okay. For variety's sake, let's try one more run. We'll see what that next run kind of indicates. Give a sense of what the progression is in this game to all of our fine viewers. So this is going to be more health, more shields. They're slower, but they have an extra crew slot and an extra attachment to start off with. Oh, we got 2 new pilots here. I love these pilot portraits, by the way. These are great. Fire rate decreased, increases by 1% every second. Is that within a stage or just forever? Because if it's the latter, that would be insane. I'm sure it's not, because the scaling on that would be outrageous. But I'm going to try it to try and figure it out. I wouldn't mind some more text there to describe that. Every second per stage. Or fire rate increases per stage by 1% every second, or something like that, right? Just let me fly for both our sakes. 20% move speed increase, dash cooldown decreased. Hi, guy. Hi. Let's go operator. Let's go the opposite of the gun. It's within a single level, so it resets every level. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's the only thing that really makes any sort of sense. Oh, and then you have your loadout based on your void crystal. Okay, interesting. So when I click the void crystal, it reset crew. So if we're doing that, then we definitely want this enter the vortex button to be down here, somewhere far away, because you're basically saying step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Whereas right now, it's kind of like, pick your starfighter, pick your crew, get yourself all settled, then pick a difficulty. Oh, shoot, that reset the crew, and I have to go back, right? So, rearrange those things to create an order of starfighter, crew, void crystal, enter. That's my recommendation. Okay. Let's reset these guys, and enter. Siphon droid and hull booster. So we're on the big healthy battering ram. We have extra health and lifesteal. So we're just gonna muscle our way through this. Battering ram. Oh shoot, that's fun. I'm getting wrecked, but it is very fun. Okay, there we go. Ouch. There we go. Okay, our fire rate's picking up. probably picked some kind of anti-synergistic crew here, didn't I? Because this is about fire rate, and I'm also saying all of my gun stuff is less strong. Oh, man. Yeah, we're not accomplishing much here. All right, we get the money anyways. Changing Fighter and Void Crystal resets crew because they both have the potential to change the amount of crew slots. So in the code, it clears the crew, but yeah, definitely agree that the UI should be improved. So, I'm curious. I clicked on Void Crystal 2, and I don't even know what Void Crystal 2 is doing for me. It's possible to do a melee build with the right attachments and relics. I was getting that impression. That's very cool. Hey, what's the big idea, huh? Hi. Are you having a good time? Yeah. Here. Oh. I'm playing with some of your stuff. Okay. Woo! Oh. All right. Enemies killed. 3. Good job. We can get another Siphon droid and a healing orb. Lock that in. Oh, dear. Okay. So we seem to be going for a all the health all the time sort of approach. I don't have high hopes for this. At least not without some big change to our loadout. Oh, they're so tanky. Yay, I got one. In the Void Crystal section, hovering over a Void Crystal gives a description. First Void Crystal isn't too exciting, but you have +5 extra starting credits, but enemies have 15% more health. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't see that. Either the first or the second time. I didn't notice a hover. So I'll keep an eye on that next time. But I'm curious if other people are also missing that. And if other people are also missing it, then that may be another thing worth kind of exploring of how do we get this information to the player in a way that will be communicated. Okay. I mean, we get the credits from the end. Sockhouse! Good to see you! How are you? I mean, Barricade's done, right? Big congrats. Very excited for you. All right. Healing increased by 50%. Fair. We could go another Siphon droid. Let's lock that in. Credit locator. Let's get the merchant. Gotta chill on the hats before Cat in the Hat comes to take you out. Oh, Mothman. Oh, thank you. All right, let's check out that hat hair. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's yummy. Woo. Oh, goodness. All right, let's get one more wave in before the ads come. Sockhouse, I'm assuming you're moving into, like, marketing now, right? For Barricade? Is this my healing aura? Do I just heal up when I'm standing inside of there? Barricade is done. Focusing on it more again. So are you... Yeah, are you like in your marketing stage? Are you looking for publishers? I know you've been working on the Steam page and stuff. And it's going to be in October's Next Fest, right? Interesting to see what you think of this run compared to the last. This one is very survival heavy for super low DPS so far. Yes, which makes it very hard to survive. But I like... This is how I tend to approach roguelikes, is like, how far will you let me push silly concepts? Like, if you're going to give me a bunch of healing abilities, can I win the game just by outlasting everyone? Is that a thing? And that's how I tend to go. No publishers, just trying to squeeze some marketing out before release. Yes, it's in Next Fest for October and releasing right after. Very exciting, Sockhouse. I'm very, very excited for Barricade. All right, pick that up. And grab that. We have level 2 of a couple of different repair things. I'm not convinced this is going to actually accomplish anything, but I want to try it. I just want to try it. Don't get hit. I'm not very good at that game. This is not my forte. I do like the asteroids. I think they add some variety into the stage. But I also agree that, yeah, there could be more done with it. Either make the asteroids a lot more interactable and you can do things with them, or have it only be one of many different types of obstacles that could come into play that force you to really evaluate them. Like, darn, I was so close to the end. You know, explosive barrels or electromagnetic fields to swipe by, you know, all that sort of stuff. Increases speed and fire rate for each credit collected in a round. That's hilarious. We're going to do that. And then we're going to lock the healing aura. Ooh. Lock credit locator. Okay. Don't know how long you're streaming for, but I do have to head out around 3 to take my cat to bed. No worries. I have a similar time stop. In about 20 minutes, we're going to have to hop off. So my apologies, Jack. We will get to your game first thing that I see you in chat tomorrow. Just can't wait to move on to the next thing. Yeah, I hear you. Do you have thoughts on what your next project is already? Oh, and we're in ads. We're in ads. We'll break. We'll break for the ads. Yeah, Sockhouse, are you, do you already know what your next project is? This music is bopping, though. Just came back from Adline. No worries. Sockhouse, yeah, I was just asking if you already know what your next project's going to be. Okay. Have some ideas kicking around my head. We'll be doing a stream about it here in the coming weeks. Very excited. Can't wait to see how you kind of decide what is a good marketable thing to go through that is of correct scope. I'm excited what round 2 is going to look like for you. So really, I'm just trying to get 1 billion credits. That's all I want. I just want all the credits. But if I don't kill things, I seem to not get very many credits. Alright. I outlasted you. All I know is it will need to take less than 6 months this time. Yeah. Like the slow time effect when hit? Yeah, it's a good point. Enemies killed 0. Oh my gosh. Heals the player every time a credit is collected? Can I, like, damage people every time I pick up a credit? Game actually accounts for low DPS spells by having all enemies at the end of a run drop a credit. That's kind of what I was feeling. Is like, I think I can just tank through this. Except for the bosses. I don't totally know what to do for the bosses, but... And a credit? Healing aura and a credit. Yes. We're getting that. We're locking that into for when we get our next slot. Okay. This is getting very silly very fast. Ooh, and lock that. Yes. Okay. Great. Pirate Lord Robard. Get ready to be bored to death, Robard. Jeez. It's fine. I have a lot of healing, not shields. Everything's fine. Just pick up the credits. I can farm the credits. Wait a minute. I can farm credits. Because I don't think this dude is going to scale with time. And I am constantly spawning in credits. I have 2 things giving me credits, and I'm going to scale off of how many credits I pick up in a match. So theoretically, I have infinite scaling built into this, along with infinite economy, as long as I stay alive, which I should be able to do, as long as he doesn't, like, 3 minutes in go into berserk mode and just completely obliterate me. Theoretically, we should be fine. Patient gamer lifestyle, right here. Jeez, This dual barricade took me 3 years on and off. That was also due to inexperience. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, having all the way through a project, that's a huge deal. Oh, shoot. Okay, we're definitely shooting faster. Grab the heals. We have picked up, like, 30 monies in this level. Okay. Great. Yeah, I think I could farm up infinite money here. We're at 67 credits, 68 credits, 69 credits, 72. It's a cool idea. I'm really liking the idea. Yeah, it's a shmup roguelite, which seems to have like a pretty strong amount of build variety. Like, I'm having a good time. I love that this very silly build is actually working. It's very satisfying. I love it. I want some more of it. And I'm just kind of incidentally hurting the boss. If I could turn off shooting, I would, and I would just farm up 1,000 money. 99 monies. 100 monies. Ooh. The credit farm hack. I've had a couple other players do that. Yeah. It seems a little bit. It does seem like things are maybe going a little bit faster over time, but it's kind of hard to really tell. All right, get wrecked. Yeah, I think I had like 10 monies when we started off this level. And the thing is, like, I'm scaling off of money. It's not like I'm trying to exploit this. I'm just trying to scale up in order to actually kill the boss. All right. I know people are talking in chats. They move faster, but there is a cap. Okay. I was telling to make a roguelite next. They look so fun. I really enjoy roguelikes, both playing and developing them. They're very fun. And adding in new content is, as long as you know how to architect things very well, it's kind of a snap to add new content that just completely revitalizes the game. And they're really good for getting Steam to recommend your game to other people. Tatas, welcome back. With the green circle, that is a healing aura that I'm spawning. Fire is going to go through the roof? Yeah, for real. Prodigal, you added a hat. Sorry, I just noticed that. You have the mechanics, so she'll scale infinitely as well. Yeah, yeah. No credit spawn for bosses? Yeah, I mean, that would kind of invalidate the build. So that is a sticky design problem. How do you have this, well, at the same time? I mean, you could have, like, it will only give you 20 credits, but, 1 second, guys. Only give you 20 credits, and then after those credits, you get empty credits. That will still give you the buff, but not the credits. Hey, all right. Oh, let's go take care of you. I'm gonna go take care of this guy, change his diaper real quick. We'll be right back. Let's take a look at what relics we want. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. There was a poop situation we had to deal with. We saddled up. I think we're good to go for a little while now. Whoa. Ah, that just popped right off. All right, well, let's just kind of do that. Okay. Ooh, extra choice relic. Extra relic option available. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I get to pick from 4 relics? Or that I pick from 4 relics, or I get another round of relics to choose from? I'm not totally sure what extra... Do I unlock a new relic type to do? Your messages are blocked? Oh, more likely to drop a credit. Yes, let's do that. Yeah, this build has gone from, this is such a dumb build, this is never going to work, too. This is such a dumb build. It's incredibly good. All right. All right, come here. Let's get level 2 for all these. So more scaling, more spawn rate. A new medic module, which is a repair merchant, heals the player every time a credit is collected by a percentage of total credits. So I'm going to heal for 17 right now. This is outrageous. Holy cow. All right, we get to evolve credit module. 4 choices for all future relic choices. Okay, really want people to be able to make fun, crazy builds. Yeah, this is such a great proof of concept to me of like, you can make some weird builds in this game. That's very worrying. If you can't hear it in my voice, you know, let me amend that and say it's really cool. So this will increase our scaling. This will increase our credit drop chance. We have so much stuff dropping. I think we go for better scaling. We may want to get rid of our siphon droid eventually. Ooh, here's a player every time a credit is collected by a % of total credits and fires a shotgun barrage. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yes, absolutely on that. Don't even have to think about that one. 100%. Or credit module, that's a lot of scaling. Medic module, sure, yeah. That's going to be our kind of damage source. And we can lock you in. Do we want to go repair droid instead of the siphon droid? I don't think so. Unless, see, this is where I need to know the evolutions, right? All right. Thank you, Blades. All right. Oh my god. Really struggling today. All right. Whoa. Okay. Great. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think it's funny too, little guy. Yeah. We have gotten like 30 credits already. So this is on Steam. Feel free to share the link, Nick. It launched in early access yesterday. Sorry, okay. Hey, okay. Are you looking for this? Oh, food? Okay, let me get him some food real quick. Okay, let's do this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm feeling very sillily strong. I feel kind of invincible and like I have infinite scaling in these levels. And I get a ton of money. Like, I just got 50 credits on that. Just found a bug. Medic module should be giving a gun synergy. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, that's right, because I have 2 guns. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Nick. There's healing aura. Is that really worth it? Do I care about it? I don't think so. I care about that one, though. More scaling. Lock that in. Stage 2. I'm feeling about as strong, if not stronger, than I did at the end of the last run now. And I'm only in stage 2, like the halfway through stage 2. So that's a good sign. For the build, that is. Like, we've quickly gotten to the point where we're killing stuff so fast that it doesn't really hurt us very much. Doesn't have many opportunities to hurt us. Our dash just hurls us across the screen. Shredded. Here we go. Great. 42 credits collected. Did my total credits just go down? Did anyone else see that? Okay. Let's level up our gun and lock in this. So now we can get up to level 7 credit module. Woo. Yeah, it would be nice to hide the mouse cursor when we get into this screen. So I don't have to, like, move it out of the way every time. I don't even really care about my shields. Like, taking a few hits is A-okay with me in this build. Oops. Woo! Okay, feeling strong. Picking up lots of money. Oh, I missed one. Darn it. Get it? Great. 55 credits collected. Yeah, let's boost up our credit module. Ooh! Level 6, max level. But what do I get at max level? Or am I already at max level? I don't know what that's communicating. All right. Absolutely, Nick. Thanks for hanging out. It was a pleasure to have you here. I'm going to wrap up this run. You'll be able to find it on the VODs. But I'm having a grand old time with this. I think this is a very well done game, and I think with the right packaging on it, I think it's, I think it can get some good sales. I really do. I think this is exactly what the market could be looking for, and it's taking an old genre and doing some really fun new stuff with it. I like the build variety. I think it's just that packaging that needs to get worked on in order to draw in the attention and retain it. But the bones of the game are pretty darn good. I'm really curious to see how difficulty works throughout it and how that is more than just difficulty. It's also unlocks and stuff. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Curious how that works out. But yeah, this got juiced up. It'd be hot. Absolutely. Absolutely. Glad you enjoyed and super grateful for all the help. We'll definitely be looking at the VOD later and referencing it. Absolutely. If there's anything else I can do to support, let me know. The mission here is to help people get into the games industry. So if there's anything I can do to support, just reach out. We're here for you. Okay. Can't heal over 50% max HP. Guns have 50% greater fire rate. That's nice. I think we're going to refresh this. Ooh, 33% chance to be revived at half health. That's fun. Credit drop chance from killed enemies increased by 15% for each merchant attachment. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 60% extra. So we're at 75% extra chance to drop a credit. Oh, hey, it got rid of my thing. That's an interesting bug too. So it was max level. I had it locked, and now it is gone. Credit locator. Credit and explosion in front of the player. Yes, absolutely. 100%. I'm not totally sold on the siphon droid. I'd rather look for something that's going to be a merchant thing. Like, I kind of want to axe that. Radius increased by 50%. Axe that and see what else can maybe expand into a merchant after heading out. Heading out, thanks again. Build is crazy. This is a super interesting bug. I haven't seen it before, but I already know exactly what's happening. There you go. All right. Take care. Best of luck with the cat. I hope all is well, and we'll catch you another time. Thank you for building something awesome and sharing it with the community. Appreciate you. All right. I don't think the Siphon Droid is really doing anything for me. Whereas if we're debuffing enemy speed and fire rate, that's at least like going to impact things, and I can maybe fish for a merchant upgrade, right? Poison Dart. Oh, that's fun. Credit Locator? Yeah, that seems like a good one to buy. I don't really care about the healing aura, because really all I want is the credit. And it looks like we're not leveling that up, so we can kind of just ignore it. Debilitator, here we go. Utility. All right, let's actually sell this and get Frozen Shot. And just kind of see where that will take us. Once again, I'm just kind of fishing for another merchant upgrade. Okay, down. Terrible. All right. Yeah, feeling pretty strong. I think those red... I don't know if it's... Yeah, I don't know what those green circles are. I don't know if that's an enemy ability or if that's my explosion that I'm getting when I am... Because it might be the red circles that's the explosion. That would kind of make more sense. The blue is probably like a buff it's sending to the other towers, is my guess. A little more feedback on that would be helpful. Yeah, we're basically detonating half the screen every now and again now. Cool. Next level. Frozen Shot. Yep, you're not a merchant either. Be gone. Hull Booster, maybe? You are also not a merchant. Be gone. Void Bomber? Oh! No. It crashed. It crashed. No. Oh, it's not going to remember my settings either. Oh, double no. Shoot. All right. Let's get our settings worked out. 1920 by 1080. There we go. Back. Shoot. And there we go. Game capture's up and running. Do I get to continue my run? No. Oh, that was such a cool run. No. Oh, shoot. All right, so there's the hover over stuff. My recommendation would be just have this always present. And then on hover, you can swap it out or have a comparison or something, but definitely let this just exist permanently. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Darn it. Shoot. Oh, man. Well, we spent a lot more time on this than I was expecting to. I was expecting to kind of like it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. This is a really cool game. And I'm not kidding. With the right packaging, I think this has the chance to be something that is quite successful in the market. So definitely recommend checking this out. I mean, you saw how silly of a build we were getting there. I think it's super rad. I'm going to be playing the heck out of this on my Steam Deck. So with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and raid out at the moment. And Jack, I'm assuming Jack went to sleep. Usually does at about long before this point. We're going to get to Jack's game tomorrow. I feel terrible we didn't get to it today. We're going to get to it tomorrow. We're going to get to it tomorrow. We're going to get to it tomorrow. So let's go ahead and raid out. We're going to go have fun with someone else. Who's someone that we can raid into for some good times. I Irish John was in here the other day. We haven't rated into him in a while. Let's go ahead and rate into Irish John, building his very cool pirate game, which has a publisher, very big streamer. I'm be shocked if none of you know about Irish John. But in any case, we're going to go send some love. With that being said, Foxhollow Games is a charitable enterprise helping people enter the game industry. You all know the deal. You're all old followers around here, I believe. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all the support you've shown today and always. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you tomorrow for more analysis.